Okay, trying this again for a second time. Real quick though, before I get into giving my 2 cents here, I discovered something today. I just want to share this with people. If you ever find yourself in need for an adhesive, but not quite super glue, but like something more than paste, consider using the glue for eyelashes, for fake eyelashes. Um, because like, well, I find anyways, when me personally, like they fail to stick through things like human sweat or tears of frustration. But through most other things and other fabrics, they do tend to, it holds pretty well. Kind of pleasantly surprised. It's a long story, I'll say for another stream. Anyway, I'm out here because I want to real quick give my 2 cents in regard to some things that I heard on Molly GoLightly's live stream from earlier today. um, as usual, much of what she said, I'm right there with her, but I just want to, I guess, more or less elaborate on a few things here. And that's what I'm doing. And if anyone wants to ask, well, who the hell are you? Why would anyone care? And I'd say, you're right. I'm still kind of surprised that anyone tunes in to listen to anything I have to say at this point, but I'm very grateful that they do. And really, this is just cathartic for me because let's face it, does anyone really listen to us in our real life? Not really. Here, we feel like we're heard. Anyway, it's been a strange day today. So, and no makeup, I know. Sorry. I still have a filter on because I am very vain like that. So I'm going to play the first clip here and then I'm just going to commentate on it. So here we go.
She says,
I got to mute myself. Forget.
I made the arrangements with her personally as I do not have a lawyer. Why so? So, however, this is not the information I was told she is sharing. She never gave the location. Then she goes on to say the lies and showy display on social media that you, Marvan, and Latisha have participated in by sharing false information, private information, and disgusting false accusation has further fueled the disdain that, in capital letters, strangers have for me and has continually put me and our children in danger.
First, I'm going to commentate on what I played this far. She says in the beginning there that she doesn't have a lawyer, but then she goes into these list of concerns that she has. And I can't help but to notice in the list of concerns, it's disdain before the safety of her family. But ultimately it lands on the safety of her family. But yes, she hasn't retained any kind of attorney or advocate rather to help get her to a place of feeling safe. I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't know if I'm taking all of this at face value. I'm assuming that what is being said is true. Assuming that's the case, I find that a bit odd. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, so there's that.
You are now asking to visit with the wrong people behind you, with the wrong intentions. Okay.
See, and I think that is what it all comes down to. I think that this whole thing isn't about anyone's information being made out there or losing sway with public opinion or whatever. It's personal. It's because the family was given no choice, really. Any outlet or any connection, any avenue in which to travel that would get them to their goal of seeing Marvan is what they chose. And they were left with no other ways to go, no other paths. So this is the way they went with. And yeah, it worked. And I think that what really ultimately bothers Dre, and I know I'm casting a lot of judgment here, and this isn't personal or anything. I can't imagine the pain, the fear, the grief that Dre is experiencing right now, because any which way you look at it, that is her husband, her partner, her best friend, laying in that coma. Let's not lose sight of that. Um, I just think it's a bit naive and a bit hypocritical, maybe, to have put so much of everything out there public, and to continue to do so as he lie in a coma, but then get mad at everyone for talking about it when they're not saying what they want you to, what you want them to say. That's kind of the risk you take when you make everything public, and you get the privilege and the high of having an audience. Is it could go either way. Um, but I think most importantly, my whole issue with this is, and I want to remind people of something. And here's the thing: I'm agnostic. Okay, I grew up going and attending Catholic school for most of my educational life. Um, and I went to a great Catholic school. It was part of a great parish in a great area, whatever diocese. I don't know how you want to explain it. It was, I think, progressive, at least by those days standards anyway. And maybe even by today's standards a little bit. They were very accepting. It was just an overall good experience with religion. Okay. I wanted to put that out there. And like I said, I was Catholic. But here's one thing though and I know we've all heard it before, and I'm sure a lot of people have had this as their wedding vows and everything. I know I was going to. Corinthians 13:4-8, whatever that means. I don't know. But love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. And here's my problem with all this. If you truly love your partner, then you you have complete and total control over your partner for whatever reason, but in this case, a coma, then you will be a good steward of that power. You will not use it to your own advantage. You will not hold grudges. You will not be spiteful. You will consider your partner, because, like it or not, in this situation specifically, you don't know what your partner wants when they're in a coma. You don't. And there's reference in this letter that you or this text that Molly was reading, where Dre made comment to the family he really loves or something like that. Well, you've been that family for how long out of his life? Like, what percentage of his life? Before you, there was his family, the one that he was brought into this world with, the one that he grew up with, all that he knew for so much of his life before you. So even if he's at odds with those in that family at that time of his falling into this coma, you have to know that he loves his family, because that's his family. So what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong that he doesn't want to speak to them? I mean, chances are you'll never know if you're right or wrong. But what if you're wrong? And what if there is some sense of realization or acknowledgement in his head, and you've kept something that was so much of his life away from him in his final moments? So what if you're wrong? I mean, if there's examples or whatever of like actual abuse, there's all kinds of extenuating circumstances. Yeah, I get that, but that's not the case here. It's never been stated or accused to be or claimed to be the case here. So I don't want to. I want to talk about this case specific. No other what ifs. This case, okay, this situation. What if you're wrong? And chances are the day will come. I don't know when, but the day will come where he's not in his coma any longer. And I don't, what I mean, it's just, he will pass away. What, the grief and everything you're going to feel the regret. Because, and I don't care what it is you did in this relationship or what you didn't do, it doesn't matter. We all feel this. Even in the best of relationships, the best of us will feel these feelings because that's a part of grief. So that's what I'm referring to. When you're going through this and you're experiencing this, aren't you going to find comfort in those who knew him, those who loved him, those who could tell you stories about him? Why do you want to cut yourself off? Why do you want to do yourself like that? I mean, I don't know if this is all just a result of like being online and being the one who's the center of the spotlight or whatever, the center of the show for so long in your life. I don't know if that's the case, or I don't know if this is just like a normal thing that people go through regardless of whether or not they're on the internet. But like, not everything's about you. Sometimes it's comforting to know that it's not about you. Sometimes it's comforting to be part of the group, to be part of something rather than be the something. It's kind of the whole point, I think, really. But I think I'm getting a little too deep into shit right here, and I'm still a little under the weather. But I don't think, Dre, you're being a good steward of this power. And I realize I don't know shit about you, and I'm coming in and I'm casting judgment. This isn't judgment. I'm not judging you. I understand. I think I can kind of understand how, I have an idea of how difficult this may be for you. And I think everyone needs to take that into an account much more than they have. So this isn't judgment. I just hope that you'll consider making things easier on yourself because you deserve it. But more importantly, if you truly love your partner, your best friend, your spouse, then at no point in time can this be about you. Can this be about what you would think, what you want, what you're feeling? It just can't be. So on that note, and I know I tagged Katie Joy or whatever in the hashtags and whatnot. And here's one thing I want to leave with. I really hope Dre is not listening to Katie Joy. I really hope that they're not in contact or whatever. But I have a feeling, and I've been saying this for a while now, how I think that they may be working with each other or whatever. I don't know. I think Katie may have offered her resources up to Dre, and I think Dre maybe had taken her up on it. My opinion. I just want to say that, and I know that there's my own history or whatever with Katie. It's not even that much of a history, though. This isn't personal for me either. It really isn't, because I would love to be wrong. But please do not base any of these decisions based on anything Katie Joy tells you, or based on anything anyone on the internet tells you, or strangers tell you, or whatever, okay? But especially on what Katie Joy tells you, because she will steer you in the direction that serves her best, not you. And that is every time, in my opinion. I know you want to sit there and think, well, there's a first time for everything, right? Not everything stays the same. Things change, right? Anytime you think that, I think you're going to be disappointed when it comes to Katie Joy. So I want to just throw that out there too. And for the last time, I don't care, because I put a comment up on this page, whatever, nonsense page, I think it was, maybe, about all of this shit with the admins of these groups and the GoFundMe's or whatever. And I'm just going to share the same thing that I've been saying all along. This isn't fraud. The dude's in a coma. His family wanted to see him. His family was definitely under the impression that that was not going to be welcomed. And then there was the whole problem of affording it to begin with. Katie Joy herself said back then, when she was still on good terms with Latisha, that the whole goal of this was to get her to see Vaughn. That was the whole goal of all of this. Anything after that, okay, fine. But the whole goal, the main objective, was to get her there to see Vaughn. So unless you had an verifiable and provable conversation with Latisha, or why not, or Marvon Sr. or whatever, unless you had a conversation where there was an agreement before you donated or gave money to, that you would be shown receipts upon request, Unless you have that, you don't fucking have that. You don't have a right to it. And for you to now decide, oh, you know what? I think I deserve it after all, even after the contract, after the agreement, after the 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 money exchange hands. If you then want to renege on this and then apply these things to it, you can't. You can't. And if you do so, if you try to do so, you're a dick. You're just a dick. You're a big fucking dick. Okay? There was no scheming. I ask everyone to put themselves in Latisha's shoes. Imagine being states away from your adult son as he lay in a coma. And I don't care if this is a son that you were there raising him the entirety of his life or portions of it or hardly any of it. I don't care. That's moot. But and you want to get there and you want to be able to see him and there's some sort of animosity between you and the daughter-in-law. You're going to do whatever you can to get there. So one avenue to go is by putting the word out or whatever on social media, through Reddit, then through Facebook or through YouTube. But I don't give a shit where. But you put the word out there. And then you get these people, strangers, mind you, on the internet who are willing to, who want to help, who care for, or maybe they have their own personal vendetta reasons. I don't know. But either way, they're offering you help. Yeah, you're going to take the help. You owe them no loyalty. You will probably tell them what they want to hear so you can get what you need. Okay? That's understood. That's to be expected, I think. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's what I would expect. So you would owe them no loyalty. And you have every right, if at any point in time you feel that one of them is being dishonest or is being exploitative, if you decide you want to dump them, yeah, dump them. You have every right. Or if you find yourself in a position where one of them seems to have the knowledge or whatever, some sort of means or ways of getting official documents from agencies, ways that you may not be aware of. Yeah, if you feel like being nice to them will help you get them, and that's the agreement, then yeah, that's to be expected. If at any point even though the Air Force Base is retired, I'm still only about like 9 miles, I think, away from Griffiths Air Force Base. There's still a lot of traffic, and we could brighten the pathway of it, I guess. Anyway, so if at any point in time, though, that person is then holding these documents over your head in any sort of way, I think what I would do in that position, and I'd probably go to fucking war with them. So, yeah, that's my whole opinion on this. I don't fault. I don't know these admin. I don't care about these admin. And no offense, I really don't. I don't care if they were in this for reasons because they didn't like Dre. So what? If what they say is the actuality of the matter, and what they're doing is what they're doing. This is something where I don't care about the intent so much. Is I care about the good done. So trying to discredit admin or whatever for a Facebook group is just kind of desperate, in my opinion. But if you are still requesting refunds, or if you are reaching out to police agencies demanding this through your entitlement, demanding an investigation into your Cash App donations to someone you didn't bother to know or vet or whatever, personal responsibility matters here, is what I'm saying. Leave them. Don't waste their fucking time, and don't waste resources of these people who are in governing or policing agencies because you feel entitled to it. You're not. You're not. It's okay. Just know that you're not entitled. Next time, don't fucking donate if you don't want to. I don't know what to tell you, but you're not entitled for people to protect you from your own stupidity or from your own naivety. You're not entitled to that. On that note, I think I said all I want to say. I'm probably going to piss enough people off with this. I'm not going to be streaming tonight because I'm working. I am not going to be streaming tomorrow because I'm going to camp tomorrow. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there until probably, well, I leave Monday morning to come back, so probably Monday evening I'll be back. I will definitely stream though when I get back on Monday night. So I wish everyone a fun and safe holiday weekend, and thanks for watching.